Am I the asshole for refusing to give my brother-in-law a free massage, even though I own a massage studio? So I basically run my own little massage therapy business. I rent a comfy studio, have regular clients, and honestly I work really hard to keep the business moving. It's my full-time job, not just a side hustle, and it pays my bills. This weekend, my sister and her husband came over for dinner. At some point, my brother-in-law casually asked, "Man, I've been so sore lately. Can you just give me a quick massage while we're here?" I kind of laughed it off and said, "That's what I do all week. You can book a session with me if you want though." He looked offended and said he thought family should get freebies. My sister chimed in and said, "Yeah, come on, you can't just do a 20 minutes back rub for him. It won't cost you anything." I told them it does cost me time, energy, and the skills I spent years training for. If I start giving away free massages every time someone in the family feels sore, I'd basically be working for free half the time. They got kind of grumpy about it and said I was being stingy, that it's just a massage and I should want to help family. Now I'm feeling weird because I don't want to be selfish, but I also don't think it's fair to expect me to work for free just because I own the business. Am I the asshole for not giving my brother-in-law a free massage? If only he were married. Then his wife could give him a massage. Real family and friends don't ask for a discount. They pay full price and acknowledge the value of your time and hard work. Not the asshole. Ta. They can fuck right off with that. I'm a hairstylist and I don't work for free either. You are not the asshole. They are. Do they ask their accountant cousin to do their taxes for free? Their painter uncle to paint their house for free? The whole stingy comment is hilarious when they're stingy themselves expecting to have things for free because family. If they're not the stingy ones, go pay for massages. You're allowed to say no, simple as that. Not the asshole. I personally would be very weirded out if my brother-in-law expected a massage from me regardless if I was licensed or not. Am I the asshole for kicking my friend out of my wedding? So I, Emily, 35 female, am marrying the love of my life, Eli, 36 male, in 6 months. I have had a relatively smooth engagement so far. We are having a pretty small wedding at my fiancé's grandparents' house. It is a beautiful lakeside property with plenty of space for everyone. Since the start of my engagement, my friend, Lila, 35 female, has been upset. She and I have been friends for a few years and are absolutely close. She has helped me through some personal things, as have I with her. I asked her to be one of my bridesmaids thinking she would be excited. She initially seemed excited, but I later found out she was very angry to not be my maid of honor. She has now brought it up several times. I asked my best friend of 20 years, Stacy, 35 female, to be my maid of honor. It was never even a competition. It was always going to be Stacy. I tried to explain this to Lila, and to my face she said she understood, but I found out she has actually been talking behind my back to my other bridesmaid, someone I have been friends with for longer than her, about how ungrateful I am. I was planning on talking to her about it, but this incident happened before I could. My fiancé and I got engaged without an engagement ring. We got engaged somewhat spontaneously, and my fiancé was planning on surprising me with a ring later into our engagement. Not a problem. Well, he went to pick up my engagement ring at the mall and ran into Lila. She was sitting eating at the food court, noticed him, and called him over. She asked what he was doing at the mall, and he told her he was picking up my ring. He sat down and sat his bags down with him. He was getting more than just my engagement ring. While they were talking, he asked if she would mind sitting with his bags while he ordered lunch. While he was ordering, Lila looked in the bag from the ring shop, pulled out my ring, put it on, and sent photos of it to several of her friends on Snapchat. I found out because we have several mutual friends that she sent the picture to who recognized my ring after I showed it to them. When I found out, I confronted Lila, and she said she was just having fun and I shouldn't take it so seriously. I told her between this and her talking behind my back, she was out of my wedding. My fiancé stood by me 100%, but her and her sister are blowing up my phone saying I'm overreacting and being ridiculous. Is this a valid thing to kick someone out of my wedding for? Not the asshole. Lila is a walking red flag. I would stay very far away from her. Not the asshole. This woman is not your friend. Run. Definitely not the asshole. What is up with some people? Lila seems envious of you, which is probably why she went as far as to sneak pictures with your ring. Getting upset about not being MOH could be understandable, but griping about how ungrateful you are to your other bridesmaids over it just tosses any sympathy for her out the window. She seems entitled, envious, and downright like she's going to sabotage your shower, bachelorette, or even wedding. She obviously knows nothing about boundaries, and I wouldn't be surprised if she continued to push them. Hold your ground. And if she blows this up even bigger, maybe reevaluate her invitation to the wedding, and even your friendship with her. You don't need people around who refuse to be happy for you. Not the asshole at all, to be honest. I mean, who TF thinks it's okay to just put on someone else's engagement ring for Snapchat clout. And the backstabbing, too? Nah man, you don't need that toxicity on your big day. It's supposed to be about love and all that good stuff, right? Stand your ground, fam. You do you. She put your ring on before you did? I would take that very seriously. Not the asshole. Talking behind someone's back because you weren't the maid of honor is horrendous behavior from an adult. It's also disgusting that she would go through someone else's bags, take out someone else's wedding ring, and then put it on 2 post pics on Snapchat? Biggest red flag. Am I the asshole for not returning my sister's vital documents to our mother? I, 26M, I have been the current de facto guardian of my sister, 17F, since she was 14 and I was 23, and vital documents being social security card and birth certificate. To clarify some important context before proceeding. We needed to get my sister's driving certificate upgraded into her first license, so we needed these things in addition to a lot of other stuff to be able to prove all the necessary things to the DMV. Our aunt during a period where she, 39F, and my sister were in my mom's, 42F, good graces convinced her to send up these things to my aunt who let me use them. After securing the driver's license, I made it a point to let my aunt know that we didn't have any plans on giving them back, and that's where the issue is. To give my aunt's side first, she promised my mom that she would send them back. Technically, she was supposed to send them back prior to us even receiving them, as while in postage from Florida to Delaware, my mom started going off on my sister over the phone, and didn't even want her to get anything after that. Currently my mom harasses my aunt nightly with calls and texts from Text Now numbers, so that she can't be blocked, causing restless nights for my aunt, who does have 3 children, the youngest of which is pre-K young. My aunt assures me that she's already ordered a new copy of the birth certificate, and that we can get my sister's dad, because a parent is needed, to get a new social security card ordered before she's 18 if she needs it. My reasoning is that first of all they're my sister's documents. Literally the only human being that has a legal use for them is her. My sister turns 18 in about 9 more months, and is in her senior year of high school. She's got a lot of stuff she has to do, jumping straight into the deep end of being an adult, without a developed support system, i.e. parents, without making her have to replace all of her own stuff straight from the jump, and replacing them pre-18 is an involved process of wrangling her dad, who she really doesn't like interacting with. My mother only wants the documents back to be petty, as she has not talked to or supported my sister emotionally, monetarily, or physically in any way in over 3 years. It's literally all me. This is the 2nd time she's moved to Florida, and left my sister up here, mind you, and 3rd time abandoning her kids in general. Lastly, when it comes to the harassing of my aunt, I do feel bad, but pragmatically as well. I told both my aunt and sister not to deal with my mom, because she's unstable and not a great person, but my aunt was on an everyone can change kick and roped my sister into it as well. Now the switch has flipped, and because my aunt won't take the more drastic measures someone would normally take when anyone literally legally harasses you every night, because my mom is family, she wants me and my sister to give in to her demands. Which is what my family has done to enable my mom her whole life, and I refuse to have me and my sister be a part of it. Dashi will need them. Your mother has no use for them. I would consider keeping them somewhere aunt can't get them. Not the asshole. These papers are your sister's, not your mom's. You have been the one stepping up for her while your mom checked out, and keeping the documents in her hands is the only logical move. Your mom just wants them to pull strings and make life harder. Your aunt's stress is understandable, but it is not your problem to solve. She chose to engage with your mom, and now she is dealing with the fallout. Handing over your sister's birth certificate and social security card, just to give your aunt some peace, would only repeat the same cycle of giving in to your mom's manipulation. You are protecting your sister's future, and that matters more than keeping your mom happy. Hold the line. Not the asshole, your sister needs her documents. Your mother only wants them to exert control. I feel for the aunt being stuck in the middle, but really she needs to block her sister/your mother. It is advisable for your sister to lock down her credit, as your mother's desire for these documents does not bode well. Run a credit check, and lock down her credit. Not the asshole. Your sister will need them, your mom won't/shoot. Get color photocopies for mom at an office supply shop, and send those to her after you lock down your sister's credit, so no one can open credit cards using her info. Sister can unfreeze her credit later as needed. Not the asshole. As you said, they are your sister's docs. Why would your mother need them? If your sister isn't living with your mom, you're your sister's primary guardian, so your mother doesn't need the information. She can always get a copy of your sister's birth certificate by calling the county where she was born. The the only reason she would need the number would either be to claim her on taxes, which she can't because you're the primary guardian. I assume your sister is not living with your mother. And the only other reason would be to commit fraud. So I would tell your aunt that unless your mom is intending to commit fraud, she has no need of those documents. Not the asshole. Your mom does not need your sister's documents. Be sure to check her credit to make sure your mom has not used your sister's information to take out any cards. Am I the asshole for calling the dorm advisor on my roommate? I, 15 female, go to a boarding school for 4th/12th grade. The high school dorms have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a living room with a mini kitchen. Each person gets their own bedroom and bathroom. Middle school dorms do single rooms and shared rooms with 4 people per dorm. New students get paired with an older student to be like an advisor and help them get used to boarding school. My roommate, Penelope, 16 female, was assigned to a new 6th grader, Callie, 11. Normally you just eat lunch together every now and then and give them your number in case they have any questions, but Penelope basically became this kid's mom. I guess her parents are in a messy divorce, and she hasn't seen her mom in a year, and she's having problems with some girls in her class. Either way, Penelope brings Callie to our dorm at 7:15 every morning to help do her hair and makeup, and walk her to class, and Callie's always in the dorm from after dinner until she has to go to bed. Last week Penelope started bringing Callie back to the dorm right after class, and she stays until she has to go to bed. I told Penelope she has to stop bringing Callie over all the damn time because I can't have friends over if there's a little kid in the room, but Penelope keeps saying Callie doesn't have anywhere else to go because 6th grade girls are bitches, and said she'll try to keep Callie in her room. I still don't want a little kid in the dorm all the time, so I called the dorm advisor and told her that Penelope always has little kids in the dorm, and it feels like a daycare, and I'm not able to have friends over or talk about anything that might be inappropriate for an 11-year-old, because she's always here. Penelope's not in trouble, but they asked her to be more considerate of her roommate, and now she's pissed that I called on her. You are the asshole. The problem is that it seems this girl is being bullied, and the school is doing anything about it. You should be angry at them, not your roommate. You are the asshole. How is it possible you are so selfish that you have not an ounce of empathy for a traumatized 11-year-old girl? She is doing nothing to hurt you. If you want to have people over, then do so. They aren't stopping you. You are the asshole. Why can't you have your friends over? She's only a couple of years younger than you. Have some compassion. She's at a new boarding school with something traumatic going on at home, and your roommate is probably the only person she can rely on right now. You are the asshole. That little girl is probably being bullied, and you are upset because you can't have friends over? What is wrong with you? First of all, go hang out with your friends in their room instead. Second, there's no reason you can't have friends over with the girl there, unless of course you plan on doing things you shouldn't be doing anyway. I think it's reasonable to not want to have someone over every day. But this 11-year-old is going through the biggest shift in her life, and needs guidance that your roommate is providing. Maybe a schedule can be put in place with the days that she can be there? You are the asshole. The kid is a few years younger than you. Your roommate is hardly treating it like a daycare. What's stopping you from going to one of your friends' rooms if you need to talk about such grown-up matters? It sounds like the younger girl is being bullied, and instead of being compassionate to her situation, you went to complain. Your roommate wasn't doing anything wrong, and you basically went to tattle on her instead of trying to find a compromise. I wouldn't be surprised if next time you have your friends over, your roommate goes to complain about your adult conversations. You have a lot of maturing to do.